नमस्सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टिविधालीला येनाकारि भुवस्थले श्रीमत्सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं चपरलोचनां कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्बवनवासिनीं पूतं सुतः पूतत्रं ततो यत्काङ्गम्पयः शङ्करमौळिसङ्गात् तत्पातु मातुः प्रणयापराधपादाहतैः पूततमं ततो नः। संगम्य बन्धुभिः सार्धं विश्रम्य च यथा सुखं वृत्तं विज्ञापयामास राज्ञे सर्वं स्वम् अद्भुतं सजातु पुरुषं कञ्चित् चन्द्रचूड जटाधरं निद्राणो अन्तर्दृशा अद्राक्षी नृपतिः कुलशेखरः नन्वस्ति नगरादस्मात् पश्चिमं नीपकाननं वन्यैर्मृगगणैः सार्धं वसामो अत्र चिरं वयं तद्वनं नगरीकृत्य तदेव अधिवसन् स्वयं कुलम् उद्धृत्य वत्स त्वं कुरु नाम इदम् अर्थवत्. So Dhananjaya the Vaishya, who had gone on a tour, he came back, and as he was approaching Kadambavanam, as he was approaching Kalyana Nagaram, it was nightfall, and he stayed the night in the Kadambavanam. He saw an adbhuta scene, a very wonderful scene where the devas and rishis came there, and they were doing the Somavara puja for Someshwara there, Kadambavananatha. And seeing that, he comes back to Kalyana Nagaram, and along with his bandhubihi sardham vishramya yatha sukham, he takes rest, and then he he narrated this incident to both his friends and everybody. He also went to the king and told him. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. I hope I'm audible. So, yeah. Now this Kulashekara, who saw he saw the king, the Kulashekara slept at night, and during his swapnam, it's either a swapnam or a vision. So it is actually a vision, because he says antardrisha adrakshit. In English, you have the difference between swapna and a vision and all that. Samskritetu tatahana. It's very difficult to clearly distinguish and say whether it is swapnam or vision, unless the author gives such clues. So here you take it as nidranaha saha antardrisha adrakshit. So even though he was sleeping, so some interpret this as swapne saha adrakshit. So he saw this in his dream, but it could not be a dream, or in the dream state he probably had a yogacha pratyaksha, which is a pratyaksha that you have because of the years of yogam that has been accumulated with you, and that yearning to have a vision of Parameshwara. Parameshwara also decided that Kulashekara should not take Dhananjaya's words very lightly, and that he has to give importance to Dhananjaya's words. So he comes in his dream in the form of a Siddha Purusha. Kanchit adrakshit, that's all. He saw someone, and that someone had a moon on his jatadhara. He had a jata, matted hair, and there was a crescent moon on his crown. So this is the description of the being that Kulashekara saw in his dream state, and he woke up in the morning feeling very romancham tatra asit tasya iti. So what did that being say in his dream? Edukku being na solrena, there is a significance that this person comes later in reality also. So he takes it as a Siddha Purusha, but the Siddha Purusha is actually Parameshwara coming in the form of a Siddha Purusha. So this Siddha Purusha first comes to the dream of Kulashekara, and he says, Vayam tatra chiram vasamaha. So it is Shiva who says that. He says, I have been staying in this Nipavanam for such a long time among wild animals. So it is time that you come and build a temple around the city around that place. So Tadvanam Nagari Kritya Tadeva Adivasan Swayam. You make it into a forest and then stay there. You increase your lineage, that is progeny. You increase your progeny and you make this name Kula Shekhara iti nama anvarthanama kuru. That is, make this name of yours full of meaning. Kula Shekhara ityukte kulasya shekhari bhutaha, one who is like an ornament for the entire kulam. So you have to be like an ornament for this entire kulam and make your name arthavat, full of meaning. So having said this, now that Siddha Purusha, he completely disappears. Now we start from the 76th shloka. Ityuktva antarhite tasmin indu chude dayanidhau pratyabudhyata samhrishtaha pratyushe kulashekharah iti uktva antarhite indu chude dayanidhau tasmin. So tasmin indu chude dayanidhau antarhite sati. When that being Purusha antarhite sati, when he disappeared, how was that person? Indu chude, who had the crescent moon on his head. Chuda is the crown or the head portion. So he had a crescent moon. These are all indicatory factors. So when you see such chinnam, those who are a sahridaya or a bhakta, they will immediately understand who that is actually. So Kulashekara knew that this was Shiva himself. So tasmin indu chude daya nidhau, dayayaha nidhi dutaha. He is like a treasure for daya, a very compassionate person who had the moon on his head when he had disappeared. After saying thus, iti uktva. So I have been staying in this forest for a long time. Make that forest into a city, and you will also gain a fame because of that. So even today we talk about Kulashekara Pandya as one of the foremost of the Pandyas there. So he had gotten a fame beyond his lifetime. So that is all due to Parameshwara's anugraham there. So iti uktva evam uktva tasmin indu chude dayanidho antarhite sati, when he had disappeared, tirobhute sati, Kulashekaraha nripaha samhrishtaha pratyushe pratyabudhyata. He woke up at the ushakkalam. Pratyushe is the dawn. It's the first light that comes out after the night. So when the night is just dark and suddenly the night is just becoming clearer and clearer, that portion is called Ushakkalam. So Usha is Ushas or Ushaha are actually in plural Strilinga Padam. There are many devatas who are called Usha, and after that only you have Arunodaya, who is the Surya's Sarathi. So before the Arunodayam, you have a light which comes, which is called the first light of dawn, right? So that is Pratyusha. Pratyushe, Ushakkale, Prabhate, samhrishtaha sanna. Samhrishtaha here, samyak hrishtaha. Harshena romansitaha iti. Samyak tushtaha asit. He was very happy. But more than that, samhrishtaha also means that romansitaha. He was horripilated, like romansitam. So he had goosebumps on him as he woke up because he had seen such an adbhuta scene in his mind. Parameshwara himself had come to his mind and told him, given him orders to do, to create a city in the forest where he is present. So he wakes up with goosebumps on his body. So samhrishtaha, samyak harshena romansitaha sannasaha pratyabudhyata. He woke up. Shayanad utthitaha iti. Ityuktva antarhite tasmin induchude dayanidhau pratyabudhyata samhrishtaha pratyushe kulashekaraha. Adbhutam swapnavrittantam apteshu cha mahatsu cha avedayan nripaha prataha abhyanandata tairapi. I've written it correctly in this Anvaya. This I need to change. Abhyanandata. Nandati. It is not yeah. I think Kulashekara Pandya is the same as Kulashekara Alvar. I'm not sure, but there can be differences. This Kulashekara Pandya is supposed to be in Krita Yugam. So, whereas our Kulashekara Alvar is someone different. So, in or it could be the same. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து it can be tough to conclude which one is what, who is what. So இப்போதைக்கு we will take it as in the Shivaleelarnavam, the Kulashekara Pandya was the one who had established the city of Madurai, who had created the city of Madurai. Okay, 1 minute, let me just pause and अद्भुतं स्वप्नवृत्तान्तम् आप्तेषु च महत्सु च आवेदयन् नृपः प्रातः अभ्यनन्दत तैरपि नन्दति नन्दति न प्रेसिङ्ग् प्रशंसति इति अभ्यनन्दति अभिनन्दते इत्युक्ते तदपि प्रशंसति इत्येव अभ्यनन्दत इट् इस् इन् पास्ट् टेन्स् लङ्लकारे वर्तते सो प्राशस्यत इति प्रातः नृपः सर्वेषु he told all of his, he conveyed whatever happened in the dream state, his dream incident, swapna vrittantam. See, swapnam indicates dream, vrittantam is something that happened. So it is, he takes it as a true incident that happened in his dream. No, Parameshwara finds different ways to come and bless his bhakta. So this is one of the other ways. So prataha, in the morning, nripaha avedayan, he was conveying all of, he narrated what happened in the dream. Adbhutam swapna vrittantam avedayan, he narrated the wonderful incident that happened in his dream. Swapnasya vrittantam prastavam saha sarveshu avedayan, he conveyed it to everybody. So apteshu mahatsucha, you take it as two separate things. Apta is friends and mahatsu would mean great people. Great people here could be ministers and elders of the city, probably, right? So those who come and visit him in the morning, maybe in the darbar, as people, the important dignitaries in the city also came and visited him, he told those who were also very close to him. Apteshu mahatsucha, and for people who will understand the significance of this dream that he had. So apteshu mahatsucha mitreshu amatyeshu prayaha athava gurujaneshu, those who are all elders in the family, he told all of them teshu avedayan nripaha, as he was explaining to them about this adbhutam swapna vrittantam, taihi api abhyanandata, he was also praised by them. Aptaihi mahadbihi cha saha abhyanandata, he was being praised by them. Adbhutam swapna vrittantam apteshu cha mahatsu cha avedayan nripaha prataha abhyanandata tairapi. He cannot take a unilateral decision. He has to consult with everybody, because it involves destruction of the entire forest there and building a city. So he has to, and changing his capital also. Parameshwara has given the orders to move from wherever he was, Kalyana Nagaram or whichever city he was, he had to move from there to Madurai and make a new capital. So that is not a unilateral decision that he can take. So he has to consult with everybody. That's why he told about this incident to all of his friends and the great people in his city. Adbhutam swapna vrittantam apteshu cha mahatsu cha avedayan nripaha prataha abhyanandata tairapi. Nischitya anugraham shambhoho nirmitsuhu vipinam puram sampratasthe mahipalaha savarodhaha sabandhavaha. All of them accepted this dream that the king was conveying, the king was describing. Because for him, it was a time when all of them believed and trusted each other for what it was. So, along with his entire Antappuram and his relatives, Savarodhaha, Sabandhavaha, Mahipalaha, Bhumipalaha, Bhupatihi, Nripatihi, Raja, Savarodhaha, Avarodhena Saha, along with his Antapura Jana, Avarodhaha ityukte Antappuram. So along with the wives and those people who were in his Antapura, along with them, Antapurena Saha, Avarodhena Saha iti Savarodhaha. Bandhavaihi Sahitaha Sabandhavaha. Along with his relatives also, Sampratasthe, he started Gantum Arabdhavan. He started for what? Vipinam Puram Nirmitsuhu. Wishing to create a city out of the Vipinam forest. This is a Vikarya karma. Adada Vipinam is your Mula Karanam. The forest is the thing that has to be transformed into a city, Puram. Like Mridam Ghatam Karoti. He makes a pot from the mud. So both will be in karma, Dvitiya Vibhakti here. So in the same way here also, in order to make the forest into a city, Vipinam Puram Nirmitsuhu, Nirmatum Ichuhu, Utpadayitum Ichuhu. He wanted to construct, wishing to construct a city out of this forest. Mahipalaha, the king, started with his wives and relatives to go to the forest. Why did he decide? He first concluded that it was the anugraham of Shambhu. Nischitya anugraham Shambhoho. Shambhoho anugrahameva etat. Iti anugraha eva ayam. Iti nischitya. This order, adesha, that the Siddha Purusha came to his dream and gave him this order, all of this is the grace of Shambhu Shiva. Iti nischitya, having decided that it was the grace of Parameshwara, Vipinam Puram Nirmitsuhu, wishing to make the forest into a city, Mahipalaha, Savarodaha, Sabandhavaha, Sampratasthe, he started going towards the forest. Okay, Nischitya Anugraham Shambhoho, Nirmitsuhu, Vipinam Puram, Sampratasthe, Mahipalaha, Savarodhaha, Sabandhavaha. Tairapi Abhyanandata mean rejoiced along with them. Urnamsho. Ama, I think you're right. Huh? Then you'll have to have Tais Saha. Taihi Api Abhyanandata. Yes, you're right. Tais Saha. It's correct. Illana Taihi Abhyanandyata Varno. It should be in Karmani Prayoga, whereas this is in Kartari Prayoga. So Nripaha Abhyanandata. The Nripa, the king, was feeling very happy along with them. Correct. Ama. This is not praising. You take it as Santosham Anvabhut iti tatra vaktavyam. Okay. Nischitya Anugraham Shambhoho Nirmitsuhu Vipinam Puram Sampratasthe Mahipalaha Savarodhaha Sabandhavaha Prasthitasya Agrato Vamam Pravrittaha Tasya Khanjanaha Katakshaiva Meenakshiyaha Kalayan Bhavi Mangalam. As soon as you start to go and do something which is very important, Shakunam becomes was very important in those days. See, something that is indicatory of the fact that what you are going to do will result in something mangalam. In order to indicate that, people always look for certain shakunam. Even until 100 years back, even or 50 years back, maybe a lot of people, there are people even now who look for shakunam. a bird or an eagle flies, you say it is Bhagavat Prasadam, because Vishnoho Vahanam tu tatra asti iti karanat. It's Vishnu's Vahanam, so you see that. There is one Brahmin coming in, so you should not go out when there is an Otta Brahman and all that. These are all things that you would have heard in your parents or grandparents say all these things. So they will wait for two people to come in front of them and then start on their journey. If it is a cloudy day, you never start. Durdinam mityattam. So if it's a very cloudy day, then it is not a good day to start on that day. There's so many. Shakuna Shastram was very prevalent at many points. Even Kalidasa mentions in his Meghadutam, when the Yaksha gives the message to the cloud, he tells the cloud that mandam mandam nudati pavanaha chanukulo yathatvam vamascha ayam nadati maduram chatakaste sagandha garbhadana kshanaparichayat nunam abadhamalaha sevishyante nayana subhagam Kebavantam Balakaha. He gives 3 indications to show that everything is anukulam for the Megha to proceed in the direction in which he is asking the Megha to go. So he is giving a message to the Yakshi and he is asking the Megha to take this message to his wife who is in the north. So he says, Mandam Mandam Nudati Pavanaha. The wind is also very soft. Suravali Madri, if there is a hurricane there, then it is not a conducive day to start your journey, because you will be pushed away from your path. If it is a very soft and sweet breeze, you will also feel like going on that journey. It is indicative of something good there. And then Anukulaha, Madhuram Chatakaha, Chatakaha is an auspicious bird that is there also. So the Vyoma-samskrta, on the left side, Vyoma-samskrta nadati madhuram chatakaha te sagandha. A chataka bird is making a sound on your left side. I'm quoting this because it is very relevant to our shloka here, where he says Vamam pravrittaha Khanjanaha. Khanjanaha is a type of bird, probably something similar to Chataka. And Chataka bird was considered to be very auspicious, and that too if it flies on the left side. The same way here also, Vamam Pravrittaha, Khanjanaha, as he was starting to go to this forest to do such a great job, on the left side of that king, Vamam Pravrittaha, Khanjanaha, Tasya Vamam, Tasya Agrataha, Vamam Pravrittaha Khanjanaha, a bird which starts from his left side, started going to the front of him. So, Prasthitasya Tasya Vamam Pravrittaha Khanjanaha Agrataha Asit. So somehow, or you can have to say Vamam Pravrittaha or Vamam Agrataha, Tasya Agrataha, Vamam Pravrittaha. That is in front of him, a bird which had started from the left side was present. Is it clear? So Prasthitasya Tasya, as he had started, as this king Kulashekara started to go towards the forest, Vamam Agrataha Khanjanaha Pravrittaha. From the left side, a Khanjana bird, adedo wagtail inlan solluva, you can check on Google what that is. But it is an indicative that it is a bird that indicates a good shakuna here. So Khanjanaha Pravrittaha, this bird started moving to the front from the left side. Right side land vanda, probably it is Ashubha Suchakam Prayaha, whereas this is a Shubha Suchakam. So it seemed as if Meenakshi herself was, it was like that Khanjana bird was like Meenakshi's kataksham, which was showering auspiciousness, mangalam for him. Meenakshiyaha katakshaha iva bhavi mangalam kalayan kanjanaha prasthitaha pravrittaha. It seemed as if the corner of Meenakshi's eye, Meenakshiyaha katakshastu bhavitabhyaha eva. If her kataksham is not there, no work will be successful here. So Kulashekara, for him, this bird seemed to represent the eye of Meenakshi herself. So Meenakshiyaha katakshaha, and what is that kataksham? It seemed to indicate a future mangalam, bhavi mangalam kalayan, nirdishan, athava suchayan. So it seemed as if it was indicating a future mangalam that is going to happen for Kulashekara. And tatha ayam kanjanaha, this bird flew from the left side, from his left side, in front of the king. Okay, so prastitasya tasya agrataha. Probably I should put this vamam pravrittaha here. You know, the bird started from the vama bhagam. So vama bhage pravrittaha saha khanjanaha iti pakshi visheshaha kaschana. Okay. प्रस्थितस्य अग्रतो वामं प्रवृत्तः तस्य खञ्जनः कटाक्षैव मीनाक्ष्याः कलयन् भावि मङ्गलम् स कदम्बवनं प्राप्य सन्ददर्श महा अद्भुतं हैमप्राकारसम्बाधम् ऐन्द्रं धाम महेशितुः. So Kulashekara reached that Kadamba forest, Kadambavanam, Nipavanam, and he saw this wonderful place of Maheshwara. He saw a golden prakaram there, which was built by Indra. Probably it was buried in that forest and nobody knew it before. There are so many mysteries inside many forests in the entire world, which is still undiscovered. Not every part of this world has been discovered. Another thing is the world is also slowly changing. You don't know where suddenly a cave has come about or suddenly something else has come about, right? So things which have been buried underneath the earth also suddenly surface because of the shifts in the surface or erosions, soil erosions, so many things, right? We know that in our times, rather I have seen only one temple in the Mahabalipuram temple, but my parents have seen at least 4 of those temples, and or 3 temples, and the 4th one they have seen when it was low tide, when they were very young. So in their times, 3 temples have completely been buried under the ocean, and only one is remaining, and they have protected that one temple. So there were supposed to be 7 temples, right? So in this manner, the earth is constantly shifting and changing. So we can understand that a temple which has got golden prakaram has never been discovered till now, and suddenly it is being discovered. Very similar to the Sundarakamakshi temple, which is very close to Kanchipuram. The walls are all made of Marakatam, they say. They don't advertise it much. That probably the entire temple might have been made with emerald stones or some green stone, red stone. These are all being discovered slowly as things have buried and people have not taken good care of those temples. So in the same manner here also, Parameshwara decided that he needed to be discovered here. And so when Kulashekara comes into that forest, Saha Kulashekaraha Kadambavanam Prapya. He reached Kadambavana, and Maha Adbhutam Sandadarsha. He saw this wonderful thing there. What did he see? Maha Adbhutam Maheshituhu Dhama Sandadarsha. Maha Ishituhu Mahanacha Asau Ishita. Ishita is a controller, Prabhuhu, Mahaprabhuhu Ngrolya. The same way, Maheshaha. So Maheshituhu, Nilakanta Dikshita has used this word before also. So Parameshwara's dhama, sthanam, place. So it is his residing place. He saw this great residing place, wonderful residing place of Parameshwara, which was built by Indra, Aindram. Kulashekara probably did not know that it was built by Indra. He probably knew about it later. But this is the poet's description. So the poet can describe from his viewpoint that this is something that Indra had built, and Kulashekara saw that. Haima prakara sambadham aindram Maheshituhu Dama Sandadarsha. So he saw this place of Parameshwara, which was crowded, that is, which was surrounded by a golden prakaram. Prakaram is like a rampart. In English, you have the word rampart. That is, it is the கோட்டை மதில் சுவருங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் வந்து பிராகாரம். In temples, you have this outer surrounding thing where you do the pradakshina, that is called the prakaram, or the wall that surrounds a temple is called a prakaram also. And the path that wall encloses is called a prakaram. So it includes the wall and the pathway around the temple. In a temple, in a fort, you will have a wall where actually on the wall you can walk. If you have been to places like Pune or where there are a lot of forts, Shanivarwada and all that. So every fort will have a fort wall, and you can actually walk around that wall because the soldiers can be placed on that wall and they can walk around. That is called a rampart. So it's like a prakaram. Haima prakara sambadham. Sambadha itukte sankirnam. It is crowded with that haima prakara, or it is just filled with it. Samyak badha. Usually the work of a prakaram is to stop outsiders from coming in and attacking it. So that is why they had built the temple walls really high, so that it can actually double as a fort. They did not need a separate fort. The fort was for the city people. All the other people who were in the villages, they could take shelter into this temple and feel safe about it. And this prakaram is like a sambadha. Sambadha ityukte samyak badha yatra vidyate. Where there is a big obstruction, that is, it can obstruct any unwanted elements, and people can take refuge here. Even during floods and natural calamities, they come inside the prakaram and take refuge. That is why it is called a sambadha, that which beautifully obstructs unwanted elements. Okay, it is like a bahir avaranam. Haima prakara sambadham. He found this place of Maheshwara which was obstructed, which had a prakaram or a rampart which was built by Indra. Okay, saha kadambavanam prapya sandadarsha maha adbhutam haima prakara sambadham aindram dhama maheshituhu sadrishtva sambam ishanam samprarthya jaganadhipam nyayunta shilpinaha dakshana nirmitsuhu nagaram nripaha. He saw and prayed to Ishvara, Shakti and Ganesha. Saha sambam ishanam ganadhipam cha drishtva samprarthya cha. Having seen Sambam Ishanam, he saw Parameshwara along with Ambaya Sahitaha Sambaha Shakti Yuktaha Ishwaraha Ishanam Ganadhipam cha Drishtva. Gananam Adipaha, Ganarajaha Tatra Vartate. Right? Airavata also established a Ganapati idol and he worshipped. So Sambam Ishanam Samprarthya Ganadhipam cha Drishtva Samprarthya cha Prarthanam Kritva Manasi Dhyatva iti. So he probably meditated upon them, and then he prayed to them. Anything, you will have to first pray to the Lord and start on the work. Vigna nashaya eva tatra tesham anugraha praptyartamaphi evam tesham prarthana kartavya. The nirmitsuhu nagaram nirmitsuhu nirmatum ichuhu. This is a sannanta pratyaya, just like gantum icha jigamisha. Gantum ichuhu, a person who desires to go is a jigamishuhu. So nirmitsa is the desire, icha to create, nirmanam kartum icha. If it is a person, if you want to attribute it to a person who has this desire, then you say nirmitsuhu. So nirmitsuhu saha nripaha, nagaram nirmitsuhu saha nripaha. The king who wanted to build a city, he appointed architects. Dakshan shilpinaha nyayunkta. Dakshaha here is Kushalaha. There is one Daksha Prajapati whose name is Daksha. Dakshaha ityukte, one who is an expert. Kushalaha iti. So Kushalan Shilpinaha Nyayunkta, he appointed expert architects because he wanted to build a city here. Yeah. Sadrishtva Sambam Ishanam Samprarthya cha Ganadipam Nyayunkta Shilpinaha Dakshan Nirmitsuhu Nagaram Nripaha. Now, when there are many people appointed, they first have to have a council. Yeah, you can't just start off with one hammer and uliya kaila eduthundu nera ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன்னு நிர்மாணம் பண்ண முடியாது. You need a council, you need a plan. There are several stages to building a city. Right? Even if we want to do one small thing, Navaratri is approaching. If we want to just build 4 steps in the house and keep bomma, the dolls and everything, for that planning goes on in some houses for 1 month there. They will plan, they want to decorate, they will decide where to keep what, what is the theme of the Golu. All this will come about. The planning happens in a huge fashion nowadays. It's not just have the steps and then keep all of the dolls that we have in our attic and done. No, tatha nasti. Every day what Shundal, when to call home, so much of planning happens, right? Even for one small event in our house. So imagine how much of planning would go on if he has to build an entire city here. And that too, you're calling some expert Shilpi. Experts nale, each one will come with their own baggage. Each one will come with their opinion. So, and their egos. So you will have to accommodate for all of those things here. Sarve te Vishwakarmanaha, Sarve Kushalata Mayaha, Sametya Mantrayan Chakruhu, Shilpinaha Purakarmani. There is a play, obviously, because it is Nilakanta Dikshita, we have to look for something. And ஒரு பொடி வச்சு பேசுறதும் பொம்மல்லையோ அது அவரோட, that is his characteristic. Some inner thing will be there with the Nilakanta Dikshita. Sarvete Vishwakarmanaha. Vishwakarmanaha, if you take the Vyutpatti, Vishwam Sarvam Karma Yeshante. So those who are capable of creating the entire world, that is any object in the world, they can immediately sculpt and create. That is the speciality that they had. So Dakshaha Shilpinaha ityukte, Kushalaha Shilpinaha ityukte, te tu sarvam nirmatum shaktaha eva. They were capable. They karma kaushalyetu, they were experts, sakshat. And the Vishwakarma himself is the Deva Shilpi. So each one was a Vishwakarma. அது சொல்றது இல்ல, ஒவ்வொருத்தனும் ஒரு அப்படியே ஒரு சாக்ஷாத் பரமேஸ்வரன் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. அந்த மாதிரி ஒன்னு ஈச் ஒன் வாஸ் மனசுல அவனுக்கு விஸ்வகர்மா நினைப்பு அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கலாம். இல்ல ஈச் ஒன் வாஸ் ஆஸ் so much of an expert that he could be compared to a Deva Shilpi who is Vishwakarma. Or they were all thinking of themselves as Vishwakarma. Both is possible. If you take it as a sarcastic way that Nilakanta Dikshita was saying, then you can say that everybody thought of themselves as Vishwakarma. Or because Kulashekara had appointed experts there, each one of them was as much, can be compared to a Deva Shilpi. And being Krita Yugam also. Koncho, if we take it in a normal sense and not bring in Nilakanta Dikshita's sarcasm, then you can take it as every one of them can be compared to the Deva Shilpi, because they were capable of creating anything. So they were sakshat Vishwakarma eva saha te Vishwakarmanaha te iti. Okay, that is one thing. The next one is Sarve Kushalata Mayaha. Mayat is a pratyaya where you use for prachuryam. So they had that kushalata, expertise in plenty in them. So Kushalata Mayaha Eva Sarve Shilpinaha. Or they were like Dakshata Pratinidhi. They were like expertise personified completely. And or there were other artisans. So you can have one set who were complete, who had the divine thing in them. And there was another which had a skill. Other, there can be two people, two kinds of artists, artisans. One who has an expert, அதாவது a studied person, அதாவது சாஸ்திர கவி and ஒரு வியங்கிய துவனி கவி அந்த மாதிரி. So one person can adhere to the rules properly, and he has studied his material really well, and so he knows both theory and practice, so he has the skill in his hand. The other one has one divinity in him. Other kind of artisans, they may not be completely experts in everything. You take any field, you will see that if you ask them something about theory, they may not know, but the moment they open their mouth and sing something, there is a divine quality in them that will just that will attract you so much. Adu or kind of artisan. There will be another kind of artist who will just sing perfectly, shruti shuddham talam, everything will be perfect there, you cannot find a fault at all. So that is the skill that they have practiced and they have become experts in. So there are two kinds of artisans here. Sarvete Vishwakarmanaha, one is a divine touch, one set of people had divine touch, and one set of people were experts in everything. So you can take it as two, because he has said two sarve iti asti. Sarvete Vishwakarmanaha, sarve kushalatamayaha. Illena, you can also say all of them were Vishwakarma, and all of them were, they both had the divine touch and they were skillful also. Kushalata Mayaha. Sametya Shilpinaha Sametya. Now they got together. Sangamya Pura Karmani Mantrayan Chakruhu. Purasya Nagarasya Karmani Karye Nagara Nirmana Karye. They discussed the city work. Pura Karmani Mantrayan Chakruhu. Mantram here is Gupta Paribhashanam. Mantra dhatu itself is where you have a secret consulting is called a mantranam. So parasparam, they started discussing, having secret discussions or panel discussions about how to go about this work of the city. Okay, so sarvete vishwakarmanaha sarve kushalatamayaha sametya mantrayanjakraho shilpinaha purakarmani. Any doubts so far? You can raise your hands. Lena, I'll move to the next shloka, which needs a little bit more explanation. Okay. Sure. Yes. Namaste. Shankari
Namaste, Mahoday.
Ah.
मानसिकरीत्या मन्दिरनिर्माणं प्रचलति, बहु सम्यक् अस्ति.
Okay.
पुनः एतद् पुरातनकाले इन्द्रेण स्वर्णमन्दिरं निर्मितम् इति, एवमेव अत्र तिरुमला अस्ति किल, वेङ्कटाचलं, तत्र कृतयुगे रत्नमयम् एवं सर्वं विवरणम् अस्ति वराह पुराणे, वेङ्कटाचलमाहात्म्ये. कलिकाले तु केवलं पाषाणाः, शिला, मृत् तादृशं पर्वतस्य एतद् अभवत् इति. यदा जनाः तादृशाः भविष्यन्ति, रत्नमयपर्वतश्चेत् कलियुगे न युज्यते इति.
பாசிபிள். ஆமாம், அது எப்படி காலத்தினுடைய ஒரு கோலம் மாறிடுறது.
तदेव बहु सम्यक् अस्ति.
धन्यवादः. இப்போ இந்த ராஜாவுக்கு கனவுல ஒரு சாது வந்து சொன்ன மாதிரி வருது இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
அதே மாதிரி மதுரை மீனாட்சி கோயில்ல நிஜமாவே ஒரு இன்சிடென்ட் 400 இயர்ஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி நடந்திருக்கு. மதுரையை வந்து ஒரு இஸ்லாம் ராஜா வந்து இது பண்ணிடுறாரு, கேப்சர் பண்ணிடுறாரு. அப்ப வந்து மதுரை மீனாட்சி கோயில அவர் கம்ப்ளீட்டா ஷட் டவுனே பண்ணிடுறாரு. எந்த பூஜையுமே நடக்கிறது இல்ல. இப்ப கர்நாடகால இருக்கிற ஒரு ராஜாவோட கனவுல தேவி போய் நான் என்னுடைய வாளை உனக்கு தரேன், அதை எடுத்துட்டு போய் அந்த மன்னரை வென்று நீ கோயில வந்து ரீஓபன் பண்ண அப்படின்னு அவர் கனவு வருது. காலையில எழுந்திருச்சு பார்த்தா அவர் கட்டிலுக்கு பக்கத்துல இருந்த டேபிள் மேல தங்கா பிடி போட்டு ஒரு வாள் இருந்திருக்கு. அந்த வாளை எடுத்துட்டு அவருக்கு போருக்கு போய் மதுரையை ஜெயிச்சு திரும்ப மீனாட்சி டெம்பிள் அவர் ஓபன் பண்றாரு. கல்வெட்டெல்லாம் இருக்கு அந்த ஹிஸ்டரி. ராஜா பேரு மறந்து போச்சு. ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸான ஸ்டோரி இது. நிஜமாவே நடந்தது. 400 years பேக் நடந்தது.
மதுரை வந்து அது ஒரு அதிசய ஊர். ஏன்னா இத்தனை there has been so many திருவிளையாடல் லீலாஸ் that have happened there. அதுக்கு வந்து அந்த ஹாலாசியம்ங்கிறது அது அது அங்க போனாதான் you will understand the greatness of மதுரை.
அந்த கண்ணை திறந்தப்ப அந்த வாளே டேபிள் மேல இருந்திருக்கு. அது ரொம்ப பெரிய விஷயம். அந்த வாளை எடுத்துட்டு அவர் போருக்கே வராரு.
எஸ்
நமஸ்தே. மத்தா எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு இதுல அந்த இந்த ஸ்லோகம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுல என்னோட வேர்ஷன் என்னோட இதுல வந்து நீங்க வந்து நந்ததான்னு போட்டத ஆனந்தத்தான்னு மாத்திண்டேன் இல்லையா, எனக்கு நந்தியத்தான்னு தான் இருக்கு.
கர்மணி பிரயோகத்துல இருக்கு.
கர்மணி பிரயோகம். சோ தயிர் அபிய நந்தத்தான்னு வருமான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
ஆமா ஆமா. சோ இஃப் இட் இஸ் இன் கர்மணி பிரயோக தைஹி அபியனந்தியதன் இருந்ததுன்னா he was being praised by them. அது இஃப் இட் வாஸ் தைஹி அபி நிருபஹ அபியனந்தத அப்படின்னு இருந்ததுன்னா the king felt happy ன்னு எடுத்துக்கணும். சந்தோஷம் அன்வபூதி எடுத்துக்கணும். அத அவளோட சேர்ந்து அவளோட சேர்ந்து அப்படின்னு with them.
ஓகே. அந்த தேங்க்யூ. இன்னொரு ஸ்லோகம் வந்து அந்த பிரஸ்தித சியாகிரதோ வாமம், அதுல அந்த பாவி மங்களம் கலை, பாவி மங்களம் அக்ரதாக பிரவருத்தாக கலைன்னு வருமா? தட் இஸ் அப்புறம் நடக்க போறது அக்ரதாக முன்னாடியே சூச்சிப்பிக்கிற மாதிரி அப்படின்னு வரலாமோ? அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம் ஆகுமா? ஏன்னா அக்ரதாக வாமம்ல இருந்து கிளம்பி ஃப்ரண்ட் அப்படிங்கறதோட அக்ரதாக அதுவே சூச்சிப்பிக்கிற மாதிரி அப்படின்னு இருக்குமாமா? இருக்குமா?
அக்ரதகாங்கிறச்சு யூசுவலி இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப்ங்கிற அர்த்தத்துல தான் வரும். தஸ்ய அக்ரதஹ இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப் ஹிம் அப்படிங்கிற அர்த்தத்துல தான்.
சோ நாட் அக்ரே அக்ரே இதானிமேவ சூச்சயதி அப்படிங்கிற அர்த்தம் வர்றது அதுல வராது.
அதுல போய் அது கன்வயமாறது கொஞ்சம்
ஓகே.
ஏன்னா ஸ்லோகம் எப்படி வருதுன்னா பிரஸ்திதஸ்ய தஸ்ய அக்ரதஹான்னு இருக்கு. யூசுவலி நீலகண்ட தீட்சிதா ரொம்ப முன்னாடி பின்னாடி எடுத்து போட மாட்டார். அவர் வார்த்தைகள் நீங்க பார்த்தேன்னா it will be in the அன்வயக்கிரமா as much as possible. He will never try to. அது வந்து நம்ம இவரை தான் பார்க்கணும். நைஷதக்காரரை பார்த்தேன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்கிற வார்த்தையை பின்னாடி போட வேண்டியிருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு போய்ட்ரி ஆர்டர்ல போட்டிருப்பார். இவர் ரொம்ப அவ்வளவு தூரம் எல்லாம் மெனக்கிட மாட்டார். ரொம்ப ஈஸியா இருக்கும் நமக்கு. அதனால when he says பிரஸ்திதஸ்ய அக்ரதஹ, கிளம்பரிச்சே அவனுடைய முன்னிலையில் வாமம் பிரவருத்தஹ from the left side வந்தது. ரொம்ப அப்படியே சுலபமா உங்களுக்கு வந்து அர்த்தம் பண்ணின்னு போயிடலாம். விவகாரமே இருக்காது அதுல. அதனாலதான் அப்படி போட்டேன்.
சரி 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 மாதா. தேங்க்யூ சீதா.
சரி, எனி அதர் டவுட்ஸ்? ஓகே, சரி பாப்போம். அப்போ வில் ஸ்டாப் வித் திஸ். நம சுந்தரன். என்ன நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லோகத்துக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் டெக்னிக்கல் டிஸ்கஷன்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ அதனால வி வில் டூ த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லோகா இன் த நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக். நம சுந்தரநாதாய தஸ்மை ஹாலாஸ்ய வாசினே சதுஷ்ஷஷ்டி வித்யாலீலாயேனாகாரி புவஸ்தலே ஸ்ரீமத் சுந்தரநாதஸ்ய தேவீம் சபரலோச்சனாம் கலையே ஹிருதயே நித்யம் கதம்ப வனவாசினி.